DJKillzown Jones, you better remember the name. DJKillzown Jones, you better remember the name. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy DJKillzown Jones. Remember the name. We're getting ready to walk into Art City Gaming Company out here in North County, St. Louis, Missouri. Getting ready to come in and talk to the owner. How you doing? Alrighty. Now, Mike, if you could tell everybody a little bit about yourself and you know who you are, where you from, and what's this fine establishment? No, I'm just kidding. They know it's Art City Game.
Yeah, hi. My name's Mike Judah, owner-operator of Art City Gaming Company. And it's a family-run business. I've been here about just over 3 years now, and we just signed up for another 3, so that's a good thing. Hopefully we'll be around. Got started about 3 years ago due to bad economy. Got new owners at the job. After 16 years, they started laying off all of the guys that had been there forever after we replaced our replacements, trained our replacements. So, exploring the options, I thought, you know what, take a chance, let's give this a shot. And so we ended up giving it a shot, and here we are. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay. So, Mike, so when you opened Art City Gaming Company a few years ago, did you ever think that you would make it this far? Because there's a lot of gaming stores that have come and gone since you've been around, and we have a couple of other stores here in St. Louis that have submitted their place, and now you have submitted your place here in St. Louis. And St. Louis does not really have a big, widespread, or should I say, dedicated gaming community. So did you think you were gonna make it this far when you first started out?
Well, it's like this. You have to believe you're gonna make it, otherwise you're just throwing your money away. If you think you're gonna fail, why do it? Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, it was scary as hell. It's still scary. Every day is an adventure. It's not as scary as it was 3 years ago, but that's just, I guess part of doing your own thing. You got to take the chance, and there is no knowing what's going to happen in the future. You just dive in head first. I don't have any sort of real business background, so I rely a lot on my wealth of ignorance, and it seems to have gotten me this far. And that's that.
All right. So, Mike, can we get a tour of the store? Sure. For all of our viewers, where you want us to start out?
We'll just start up here in the front.
Okay.
As you come in, we've kind of got our Xbox wall over here. Xbox One is still very slim in time as they make more games and people start trading them in. This wall will start to fill up. But for now, it's just a small set of games. We've got our used 360 here, which is still a big draw. A lot of people still have that. And then working down our way the wall, we have the original Xbox, which are harder and harder to find as anybody with an original Xbox can tell you. Back up here to the front, if you were to hang a right when you walked in, this is kind of our Nintendo section. We've got the GameCube games here right at the door.
Okay.
And then coming around through these racks, we've got some DS games. We've got our original Nintendo games.
Okay.
Over here we've got our Super Nintendo games.
Okay.
And behind us we've got Wii.
Okay.
And as you wrap back around up here, we've got our Nintendo 64 games.
Okay. Nice. Extreme G. I had that game growing up. Nice little racing game.
A lot of solid games on the cartridges. Then if you spin around towards the counter here, this has got our considered nicer 64 and Super Nintendo games, ones that we would want shoplifted less than the ones behind us in the counter here. Up top we have our Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color games. Right. Down at the bottom we've got some of the older systems, knickknacks, various accessories. Got right here unopened Simon's Quest from the original Nintendo. That's one of my prize pieces. few other gems in there.
Yeah, that is very, very hard to find, ladies and gentlemen.
As we make our way down, we get into the DS section and down a little lower, Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
And below that, the more current generation consoles.
Okay. See, we got a couple Wii's and a Wii U here. Okay.
Coming back down the center, I guess, of the store, we've got some Xbox accessories in this case. And for all Xbox Original 360 and Xbox One.
Okay. So you got a Titanfall controller here.
Yeah, for Xbox One that came in not too long ago. Up here we've got a few, we kind of dabble with some of the iPods and tablets and whatnot. It's not a huge draw here, but yeah, it's what we have and we do deal with it.
Okay.
We have our more vintagey stuff down below. Got a television, some Ataris.
The interactive gaming seat. I wanted to get one of these so bad, but they were sold out. I remember Venture was up here many years ago, and they were out. So.
Well, that's the one. It's not the seat. You wear the vest.
Oh, okay, yeah, the vest. Okay.
20-pound bulletproof vest. But yeah, it's an interesting novelty for sure. Mm-hmm. Then as we come around here, we've got our, I guess, vintage section, which entails the Sega stuff. Genesis across the top. We've got some Dreamcast, lacking in Saturn, unfortunately. But
Virtual Cop 2, Virtual Cop the original, yeah.
Sure, I'm not even thinking straight.
And Virtual Fighter 2.
This is all Saturn up here. I'm not thinking straight. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought the Saturns were behind this. We've been rearranging, but this is my very still limited selection, but it is up here. And then over here, Genesis cartridges, and then towards the bottom we have the Ataris, ColecoVision, and Intellivision.
All right. Now, what's over here on this rack? Is this guides?
Older strategy guides, nothing really current. We just take in the old ones, and they're just the older ones, the harder to find ones.
Okay.
The ones people have given up on.
Oh.
But there they are.
All right.
Over here we've got a small selection of knickknacks, Sega Game Gear cartridges, if anybody remembers that.
Oh boy, do I?
Yeah, it's good stuff. That was a great system back in its day.
Mm-hmm.
A few nicer strategy guides that are older, the hardened hardcover editions.
Mm-hmm.
Some various cases and other little knickknack accessories here.
Okay.
Plug and plays. And then over here we have our gaming center. Got a couple TVs, as you can see, a huge array of various systems down there. Basically, people come in, it's $5 an hour, they can pick anything on the wall and have at it.
Okay. And I see you had a logo back here.
We did. That was done by a couple guys from Edison Art Group. They did great work, and
okay.
we did get the logo.
So what do we have over here in this area?
This here's our DVDs, and Blu-rays a little farther back, but basically this is our DVDs. We do run what I hope is like to consider as a good special. For the most part, we price them at $5.99, and then the more you buy, the cheaper they get. It goes $5.99, $4.99, $3.99. Number 7 ends up being a free one.
Okay.
That's how we do that. We have seasons and series and other things that are priced a little differently because of what they are, but they can be worked into the special.
Okay. See, you got a little nice anime selection over here.
Yeah, a little one.
Okay.
And then as we, well, I guess we got the counters here behind us.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, missing that. This is our Genesis or Sega area here. We've got some Genesises, Dreamcast, some arcade sticks. Here's the Saturn games I was thinking.
Oh,
When I
okay.
said we didn't have any. We got them over here.
Okay.
And a few other little knickknacks for the
Okay.
old Sega stuff.
The Sega Saturn controllers here. Thought they were Genesis control, but I forgot that they're so similar.
Yeah. Then over here's our PlayStation counter. Got some PS1s, 2s, 3s, various accessories.
Okay.
So if you need a PS1 fishing pole, this is the place to come for it.
All right.
PS3 games over here on this wall.
Okay.
PS4 games, same story with the Xbox
One.
games.
Yeah.
We'll build on that as they start making more games and people have something to trade in.
Okay.
PSP.
Okay.
Harder to find.
Yeah, they decommissioned them, so.
That was a good handheld system too. Always liked it. Working our way back, we hit the PS2 wall.
Okay. Got Call of Duty. Okay. This is the big red one. Those first two on the PS2 were the last great ones.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably gonna catch a lot of flack for that.
That's alright. There's something to be said about these older systems.
Mm-hmm.
The games they turned out on.
Okay. Alright, see we got some more movies over here. So what we have over here in this corner, we got the...
Well, sticking with the PS section here, we got PS1 games over here.
Mm-hmm.
So PS3 and 2 and 1 down the PSPs, PS3s, PS2s down the one wall, and then over here, PS1s.
Oh wow, you got Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Man, and Jersey Devil, one of my favorite games.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games on there. And then back here's Blu-rays.
Okay. Alrighty. See, you got a nice selection back here as well.
Then grow on that.
Right.
That's pretty much the whole store.
Okay. Alrighty. So what did we didn't look over here in the middle
Yeah.
here.
My little where I keep my gems and stuff. Like people realize that they're not in the GameStop. Basically, it's just a display case. Some of the stuff in here is for sale, and some of it I'm not selling.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, it's just some of the items I consider more of a gem or just more unique to have.
Mm-hmm.
Original Nintendo set with the box and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A couple Ataris with the box, which with the box is like wow.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple Ataris, original Xbox, nothing too fancy about that, but with the original box and everything, I still thought I'd set it up there.
Mm-hmm.
An old Atari 7800, a bunch of cartridges in there, and this Neo Geo X Gold, which isn't necessarily the original or old, but still a neat system to have.
They only did a limited run of those, I heard.
Yes.
So. Okay. Okay, it's pretty nice. You got some of your newer games back there on that shelf, right?
They are some newer games back there.
Okay.
Some of them aren't so new, but they're all still saran wrapped. So
Oh, okay.
they
So,
make for good gifts.
okay. All right. I see you got a Double Dragon over here on the NES setup. All right. So Mike, when did you get started? Gaming, and then go into a little bit more about like what inspired you back then to where you are now.
Well, I guess squash the first misconception that because I have a game store, I'm this huge gamer. I am a gamer. I've been a gamer since I was a little kid. I'm an Atari generation kid. Grew up with one of everything. I never had all of everything. So I don't consider myself necessarily an expert. My customers oftentimes know way more than I will ever hope to know. But I pick up a lot of that, and my knowledge base grows on the daily. Starting out, back when I was a kid, this is going back into the 70s now. In that day, you had roughly 5 channels. There's no such thing as VCRs. You got to watch what was on, or you didn't. And when the Atari came out, that was a game changer. You could do something with your TV that you could never do before, and you kind of had control. And if you want to play this game or that game, it wasn't the game that they had on Channel 5 for you to play. So, a lot of people I think lose how big a deal that kind of revolution was for people coming into it. So anyway, like I said, grew up with Atari, did that, ended up getting into television. From there, original Nintendo, and just on up through the things. By the time I was in college, I had myself a Sega Genesis, which loved that system. It was so edgy, and a lot of good games came out on that. First Mortal Kombat, loving that. So anyway, after Sega Genesis, that was when my college stint was over, and I had to face real life on my own terms. And I had, needless to say, lots of bills, little pay. I missed out on the first generations of all the CD consoles. I didn't get a PlayStation 1. I missed Dreamcast. So I was kind of out of it there for a few years. But with original Xbox, I'd gotten myself to a point where I could afford to get back into gaming, and so I did. Had the original Xbox, which I thought was a great system, and most recently, a few years back, we ended up taking PS3 over Xbox 360, and was very happy with that system. And I have yet to get one of the current gens, because I just will soon wait and let it fix bugs, drop a price, get some games out, and I guess when I really stop and think about it, even though I grew up as the Atari kid, that's what we were playing, and we moved on from there. It wouldn't be fair to not mention that my dad actually had an old Magnavox Odyssey system that I found in the garage when I was a kid, and that was something. That was older than the Atari. A lot of people don't remember that system, but it didn't get in everybody's house like the Atari. It didn't change the world like the Atari did.
Then that Magnavox Odyssey only had Pong on it, right?
It was like 3 versions of Pong, but this was a different one. It had I can't remember if it was the first or the second. It might have been the second one, but you actually had lay like plastic screens that you would stick to the television with the static of the TV screen.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you were playing baseball, you had a green sheet of plastic with a clear cutout for the bases. And then all that your TV really had on it was a single dot that would go around, and as long as that green screen was centered, it looked like it was on a baseball field. But that's where it started.
So, where do you see, Arch City Gaming in the next year with the new consoles that are out, all the new games that are coming out? I know you say you had the player you back here as far as tournaments. They got a lot of new fighting games coming out. Got Mortal Kombat 10. The next season, the Killer Instinct's getting ready to come out. The sports games, of course, are getting ready to come out. So where do you see, Arch City, the company, in the next year?
Well, for now, at the next year, we are going to, well, as you can see over here, we have this space here where the TVs are. We just recently had 4 TVs and an extra futon, and we don't really get the kind of turnout that we want for tournaments, and so we decided to make that space more usable. So I suppose in the next year, we will consider what we're going to start filling that space with, something to try and sell. As far as the next year goes, we just take every day, one day at a time, and hopefully things will keep going. Our focus as we're going, we like having a lot of the vintage stuff because that is hard to get. It sets us apart from a lot of the other big chains. So, I can see our focus, still with the older vintage stuff. Just kind of keep growing with what we've got. A lot of the way we do this is, things come to me, and that's how a collection starts. When we first opened, we didn't even have a vintage selection, and somebody bought me a small stack, and that's how it started. And so, most recently, I took in probably about 40 or 50 ColecoVision games, and now I've got a ColecoVision section. So, as long as that trend stays and people keep bringing me stuff, we'll just keep expanding at that pace.
Okay. So how do you feel about the game industry? Because you mentioned earlier, the beginnings and you being there, because I came along, Genesis, Atari, is it 700, 7,000?
7,800.
7,800, I came around in that era, NES, Super NES, Genesis, like I said. And now we're moving, we got discs, we got digital games and things of that nature. How do you feel about the game industry growing and evolving as the years have went by?
Well, I think they do some amazing things, leaps and bounds in what they're capable of, but at the same time, I can't help but feel that they're kind of going in the wrong direction. So much of their focus now is to get you into that online gameplay. single player games, the co-op player games where you can just play with your buddy on the couch are getting harder and harder to find. The campaigns are, excuse me, less. They're less than what they used to be. So much, and this is, I guess, a personal opinion. They do a great job with the storytelling aspects of the game, and I blame this on my generation. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I don't need that much story. I like to play the game when I'm playing the game, and I just want to get in there. And when I'm done being in the real world for the day, I like to tune the world out with some games. The way they're doing it now is when you're done with the real world, you got to go home and invite the world into your living room and then deal with them some more. I think that's great that you can do that, but I think their focus is too heavy on it. Being in this business, I'm not alone in this thought, which is why I don't mind saying it. A lot of people miss the co-op side by side on the couch and the not liking the forced online like it is. Excuse me. Ugh.
Yeah, it's going around. We're gonna keep the camera rolling. Don't worry, Mike.
That's all right.
That's just how real things happen.
Keep it real here.
Yep, we're gonna keep it. But I agree with you, Mike. I mean, I feel like some of in my generation, a lot of people kind of had that mindset because they didn't come from the generations where, especially the kids nowadays, they don't really know or appreciate it, and then they can't really understand it. And some games that I go back to, or even books and movies I go back to now as I'm older, that I'm like, wow, this is really eye-opening to me. A lot of things that certain games are talking about actually happen in the real world in a in a real way. So I just want to say personally, I appreciate stores like this, and this is why I started this interview series, because I want to go to places that are not, I wouldn't say under the radar, but not as well known as they should be.
Us.
So
That's us.
That's what I aim to do with Killzown Interviews. This is an amazing store.
Thank you.
I heard about it from a lot of my friends that would tell me about. All I heard is Art City.
Nice.
Art City. So, like I told you when I came up the first time, I was just in the neighborhood and I saw that you guys were open, so I just ran on in. So, and I'm glad I did. And Mike, is anything you want to say, or anybody you want to shout out or give some kudos or acknowledgments to before we leave?
Oh, sure. It probably sounds typical, but you got to thank your family and friends. They're the ones that are behind you before you even take this venture on. So, you got to thank them for all they do with the support. And then got to thank the people that actually care enough to tell people like you about me. I wouldn't be here if people didn't care, because I'm surrounded by Walmart and about 5 other big box stores within a few mile radius. I've got probably 3 different GameStops and a couple other independent game stores. So that I got to thank the people that come here and tell people that I'm here too. Word of mouth is you can't ask for anything.
Okay.
It's the best. So
Okay.
yeah, thank them.
Now, can you tell people where you located and where can they reach you?
Well, we are at Bridgeton, Missouri, at the intersections in between 270 and Highway 70 on St. Charles Rock Road. More specifically, we are at 12272 St. Charles Rock Road, which is in the DePaul Center Plaza. A lot of you might know it from Kohl's being here, or Aldi's. We're right in front of the DePaul Hospital complex, so hopefully with all that information you'll be able to find us.
Okay. Any social media pages or anything?
I have them. I'm bad about using them. Once again, earlier on I said I don't come from a business background, wealth of ignorance, and I try to capitalize on that as best I can. What I mean by that is that I'm a regular person too, and I get inundated with advertisements from everybody at all angles, and it disgusts me. And so as much as I'm told I need to get email lists and spam people on my Facebook page, I just don't want to do that to people. And I hope that people will realize that and appreciate that and come here for the peace of mind that, we're not going to try to sell you everything under the store when you come in here and, spam you with email because you showed up. So it's a lot of it stems from that, even though I'm pretty aware that I should probably be doing the opposite.
Well, actually, I feel like the viewers appreciate that because you do go into other game stores. We're not going to get many shine or props, the more bigger ones that everyone knows about, and they do that. It's not that they're not, good people.
It's business.
It's business at the end of the day. So, but I would like to thank you, Mike, for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and we'll see you guys next time on Killzown Interviews. Peace.
Killzone.
Real gamer news.
DJKillzown Jones, you better remember the name. DJKillzown Jones, you better remember the name. DJ